To My Eternity. Written by Fairycrest. Read by Arashi. Alhaitham stopped midway through flipping the page of the book he's reading in his hand. He paused as he glanced at his wife, who's sketching his 47th revision of his draft today. Bags under his beautiful carmine hues, and his shining, usually well-put hair is put in a messy, hurried bun. "Vey?" he gently called out, ensuring that he wasn't to startle the blonde and create any form of mistake on the blonde's work. That will shorten his fun time with Kaveh more. "Mm-hmm," the blonde replied after a short while, as if he just got out of his trance, or in Kaveh's case, his concentration. "Yes, love?" His hands didn't stop moving, as well as his gaze not leaving the blueprint on the table. But Alhaitham knew full well that he had Kaveh's attention now. "I seem to have something that slipped my mind." At this statement, his husband removed his gaze from his work and turned to look at the silver-haired man. "I thought that maybe you'd know." Kaveh looked at his husband for a bit, his hand dropping the quill in his left as he raised it to caress his husband's face, a habit he formed when he's trying to remember something. Unfortunately this time, nothing comes to mind, so, with a quick peck on the man's lips, he uttered an apology. "I'm sorry, Hei, but I also seem to not remember. However, I'll try to indulge you with whatever you want to make up for that, okay?" This time, it was the silver-haired man's cue to move. His body dropped, inching towards his husband, as he wrapped his arms around the man's waist, gently pulling him closer, till the blonde remained in his lap. "You don't have to, though. It could be something irrelevant." "Well, I'll still indulge you, though. Who knows? Maybe it was very important." Once again, Kaveh gave his husband a chaste kiss on the lips, before his concentration is now back again at work. It was so important. Kaveh, who now finally had finished the blueprints and was able to get himself a heartful rest and love from his husband, can now think clearly, and he realized. He lay down on the bed, wide awake, as he stared once again at his younger husband's face, his hands gently cupping the handsome man's cheeks. The thing Alhaitham asked of him earlier was so important. How could he goddamn forget? Today is Alhaitham's birthday. Scratch that. It's 2 a.m. already, so it was goddamn yesterday. Kaveh wanted to scream. How could he forget his own husband's birthday? How terrible of an asshole was he? Kaveh's eyes returned to his husband's sleeping face. "I will definitely make it up. I'm sorry," he mumbled, as he wrapped his arms around Alhaitham's shoulders, earning a grunt from the younger male. Instinctively, the younger man's arms then wrapped around Kaveh's waist and snuggled closer to the blonde's frame. "I'll really make it up to you later." Alhaitham woke up to the feeling of emptiness in his arms. He remembered sleeping with his wife snoozing in his arms, and now those arms feel light. He groaned, stretching his arms to reach the man, thinking his husband probably just shifted in his sleep. Cold. His hands met with the cold and cleaned sheets, and no further sign of any figure or curves or warmth that his husband has. He opened his eyes, squinting a bit as the light from the window, Kaveh probably raised the blinds, entered his vision. He took a quick glance beside him, and let out a groan upon seeing it empty. Well, there goes his comfort of sleep now. What's even the point of going back to sleep if Kaveh is not by his side for a cuddle? He took a quick glance at the clock hanging on the other end of the wall. 10:21 a.m., it says. With a huff, the younger man kicked the blanket off his body and left the bed abruptly. He glanced at the pile of blankets, messily unmoving in his bed, contemplating whether to fix it first or not. The image of Kaveh nagging him about his messy habits played in his head, and he decided to spare a few minutes to fix the bed before heading out to the kitchen. He walked in and was greeted by the usual sight of Kaveh cooking by the stove, the light from the window gracing his husband, making him look even more ethereal than usual. His eyes draped down towards his husband's nape, smirking at the evidence of last night's fun. He thoroughly savored Kaveh last night. The blonde was left writhing and sobbing underneath him, and even then Alhaitham did not stop. And just by looking at him, Kaveh now, he wants more. Slowly, he approached the man, gently wrapping his arms around his waist. Like always, his hands belong there. That's non-negotiable. In turn, his husband turned to him, a smile gracing his plump lips as he pecked the man's lips and mumbled a sweet good morning. Gently as usual, he was pulled towards their dining table, and Alhaitham glanced at the feast with all his favorite food. He stood there, hands not leaving Kaveh's waist, as the blonde on his side gave small pecks of kisses on the man's cheeks. Was it about the thing I forgot yesterday? Kaveh met his gaze and gave an eager nod. He smiled, and yet looked apologetic, as he fiddled with his fingers and turned his gaze to the food. I remember now, what was supposed to be yesterday. Alhaitham smiled, a rare occurrence that, if anyone in Sumeru would see, they would question his identity. But there's no need for Sumeru to see that. His smile is reserved for his dearly beloved senior, and his alone. He pulled the blonde to one of the seats as he sat down, bringing Kaveh to his lap. The older man indulged to him with his wishes. Ah! He closed his eyes and opened his mouth, earning him a giggle from his husband. Well, someone wants to be spoiled. Kaveh, however, obliged. He fed the man a sandwich he made just today, and wiped his face with a napkin. I'm really sorry. He kissed the man's temple. And happy belated birthday. Alhaitham opened his eyes as if surprised. He looked at his senior, who still sat on his lap with an apologetic smile on his face. He gently grabbed the younger man's hand and placed a small black box in it. Alhaitham's heart could leap out of his chest right now. I had that commissioned last month, and I went to retrieve it earlier today, the blonde stated, as he offered a mouthful of sandwich to his husband yet again, who obediently opened his mouth and ate. But yesterday I was so busy that it slipped past my mind. I'm really sorry, Hei. Alhaitham wiped the tears that threatened to fall from Kaveh's carmine eyes. It's okay, Vey. I forgot too. This time, it was him who cupped the older man's face, as he continuously, yet gently, rubbed his thumb on the man's cheek as if to soothe him. Thank you for preparing this for me. Thank you for the present, too. I love you. The blonde's reply was enough to melt Alhaitham's heart. I love you a lot, and I'm happy to spend another year by your side. The blonde continued crying as he hugged the younger man, who soothed him by caressing his hair, his cheeks, and planting kisses all over his face. I love you a lot, Kaveh. You are the greatest present the world has ever given me. Alhaitham glanced at the ring from the black box he received from his husband. His eyes took in the detail of the very simple golden ring, endowed with a small, red gem in the center. It fits snugly on Alhaitham's right ring finger, for his left is already occupied with another ring. As much as Alhaitham appreciated the gift, he couldn't help but notice how the present looked so simple that it was so far-fetched from Kaveh's aesthetics. The ring he was examining dropped to the floor and rolled. Alhaitham's heart dropped. He hoped nothing bad would ever happen to it, as he chased after the rolling ring hastily. The chase did not take long, however, as the ring stopped and dropped. Under the light from the sun coming from the living room window, where the gold ring shined as beautifully as ever. It reminded him a lot of his ever-glowing, beautiful husband. Gently, the man bent down to pick up the ring, but stopped in his tracks upon seeing the red gem glowing due to the sun's light. The light from the red gem slowly spread around the ring. Gently, new designs appeared on the golden ring, written in red hue, like Kave's eyes, the way it looked at him with love and affection. It wrote, "To my eternity." A drop of water beside the ring got Alhaitham out of his trance. His hand gently touched his cheek where the water flowed. He cried himself out of joy. That was the first. Second, if you count the wedding with Kaveh. He quickly grabbed the ring and clutched it tightly in his hands. He wiped the tears that flowed, and when he opened it again, the engraved words already disappeared. "Well played, Vey," he mumbled, as he slipped the ring onto his right ring finger. "Hey! Come on now! It's time to blow your cake!" Alhaitham chuckled at the sound of Kaveh from the kitchen. He walked in with Kaveh, holding the cake with a smile. "Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, my birthday boy! Happy birthday to you!" Alhaitham was once again smiling, as widely as he can today. I guess faking to forget his birthday was actually such an amazing thing after all. He thought that railing Kaveh was enough of a gift, but the man always finds a way to give him more. "Thank you, my light." He walked closer and peppered the man's face with kisses. "Wait! Hey! Blow out the candle!" "I'll blow you instead." "Hey! Way!" Without the light, Alhaitham's eternity would not exist. I guess it goes the same for Kaveh then.